Hey, what's up all you smorks out there? It's Kaeyoh, and today I wanted to show you guys the build that I've been using with Samuro thus far on the PTR. He's a ton of fun to play, and this style is sort of a hit and run bursty type. So let me know what you guys think about it, but I'm going to run you through the talents, and then I'm going to show you the combo to use it to the most highest effectiveness. So at level 1, you're going to take Way of the Wind, which is the quest that's going to empower your wind walk by giving it additional movement speed, as well as, of course, giving you the lovely 2.5 seconds of additional unbreakable stealth, which it's kind of like when you're going up against a gray main and they get that, the disengage off where you can't quite unstealth them. You can't finish the kill off because you can't get a target on them. Works very similar with this quest reward on Way of the Wind. It's a very nice tool to help you escape. And it pairs nicely with the rest of the build, considering you get a greatly reduced cooldown at level 20 on Windwalk. Level 4, we're going to go Mirage. Now, Mirage not only gives you spell block, but it also gives your illusion spell block, which is really nice for soaking up more skill shots. When you pop those down in a team fight, when you're engaging, it's kind of like having Skeletal Mages set up to catch Li Ming spells. You can get all sorts of good effectiveness out of it that way. At level 7, this is where it gets a little weird. We're going to go Crushing Blows. That's going to give your critical strike 2 charges and slightly increase the damage that your normal critical strikes do. Level 10, Blade Storm. Now, I feel like it's a little bit underestimated. Of course, I know that 110 second cooldown really does hurt for just a strictly damage ult, but don't underestimate the fact that it's making you unstoppable. So the way I've been using this is basically as sort of a cleanse in fights when I know that control is going to be targeted at me, because of course, with Samuro, you're a great target for people trying to lock you down in team fights. And, a lot of times, like with ETCs, you could pretty much predict when they're going to try and power slide mosh pit you. So you just pop this right before they're going to go in and, voila, you just completely negate that. So, of course, you got to be careful with this too. And if you go in at the wrong time, chances are you're going to die. You can also get a good Medivh player to go with you and give you the damage mitigation so that you're just strictly, it's sort of the divine shield that you need because you're already unstoppable. So all you really need is that damage mitigation. At level 13, of course, you got to go Shikuchi. This talent is insane. Every time you wind walk, you like blink forward. I predict that this talent may see some changes. It's a little bit too strong as it is right now. But anyways, it's a must take because even in situations like this, you can actually jump over and secure kills, which is a huge tool to have. And definitely a must take. Again, adding to the survivability that it brings you as well to your kit. At level 16, Harsh Winds. That's going to make a target take 30% increased damage after you break out of Windwalk, so pairs nicely with everything else that you're doing in this build. At level 20, of course, the Wind Strider halves the cooldown of Windwalk, which is just a beautiful thing to have. So now, a lot of times what I'm trying to do in team fights, sort of stealth in, now you have to play around your crit meter quite a bit. And the way this works is that if you activate your critical strike, you're basically wasting your crit meter. So if you have a natural crit, as I do right here, and then I use critical strike, basically I'm just wasting a free crit. So it's something you have to actually watch out for. And I actually think this is really cool to have these sort of like mini skill cap rotations that you could potentially lose out on a lot of damage, and this small thing can set a good player apart from a great Samuro. So keep an eye on that, and I'll show you how this really works. Is you're going for the triple critical burst. That's really where you get most of your damage. So you're going to wind walk in to start your fight. You get that 30% bonus damage. If you want to throw out your things for maximum damage, but as soon as you get that crit, crit, crit. So you get 3 crits in a row. It's a ton of damage. And let's just see real quick here. 30% increased damage for 3 seconds when you come out. So you have plenty of time to get your combo off. A lot of times, now I'm trying to show you optimal damage there. A lot of times I won't actually cast the mirror images right away. Of course, I save that until people start actually trying to focus me, and then you get the maximum survivability out of it. But you can actually see, like, if you're really trying to pump out the maximum deeps here, this is a crazy amount of damage in a very short amount of time. So I really love seeing that combo come out in fights. And the thing that you can also really easily underestimate is the passive. Advancing Strikes. And a lot of times, even though it's called Advancing Strikes, I use this defensively to my advantage. Because I go in there, I get my combo off, I get all that damage off, like boom, 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 blah, blah, blah. And then you get that movement speed, really helps you get out of a situation. Because usually you have to wait a few more seconds for Wind Walk to come back off cooldown, because a lot of the time we're using this to engage on, if you have a Leeming or like a healer or something in the back line, and you initiate on them like this, do your huge burst combo, and then you walk away. That extra 25% movement speed is like your little mini sprint there to help you get out of the situation long enough for you to get wind walk back up or your clones or whatever defensive comes up first. So even though this build is a little bit more all in, I think the argument would be made that without having as much mirror images going off, you lose a little bit of that survivability. But I really haven't had that problem because the way the passive works and everything. So, we'll see how it goes against, like, stacked teams with a lot of really good players. Of course, on the PTR, sometimes it's a little bit of a clown fiesta. But I really love this build. It's fun. You get a ton of burst. And then, of course, you want to use Bladestorm to sort of... you want to anticipate the stuns, the roots, the polymorphs, and try and basically outplay your opponents by popping this right before they use their control onto you. And that's how I found it works the best. Be a little bit patient with Bladestorm. You don't want to full YOLO with this build. Generally, what you want to do is wait for an engagement to start. The tanks start going in with each other. You see some cooldowns being used. Then you come in and use your cooldowns, use Bladestorm. Don't just go in right away because it's still extremely vulnerable. You are not a tanky character. You die very quickly if you try to do it that way. And yeah, I've definitely learned that the hard way. So anyways, try this build out. Let me know what you think. The sort of hit and run style. It's a good time and definitely very effective. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Have a good one.